Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be working on my November 2023 bullet journal theme. So unlike some of the other holiday months throughout the year, like February for Valentine's Day or October for Halloween, I wasn't super inspired by Thanksgiving vibes, if you're from America, for my bullet journal theme for November. So I was trying to think of some other still fall themed but less holiday centric ideas for my theme for the month. And to give you some backstory, on my TikTok every month I ask for theme ideas, and this year so many people every single month, even not in the fall, have asked me to do a Gilmore Girls bullet journal theme. I guess people just love that show, but I just had to be like, I haven't seen it yet. So in the middle of September I decided that I was going to start watching it, just because even if I didn't do the bullet journal theme to please everyone, I just thought it would be a good time to watch it because I've heard that it's a great fall time show to watch. So I started watching it in September, and I really am enjoying it. I will say I haven't actually finished the show yet. I'm on season 5. Or actually, no, I just finished watching season 5 last night, so I am about to start season 6. I feel like the core vibes of the show are from the first and second season anyway, so I feel like I have a good enough grip on it to do, finally, a Gilmore Girls bullet journal theme. If you aren't into Gilmore Girls, if you've never seen it, I would still recommend watching this video because I think it's going to be a fun workaround of a lot of different creative problems that I might have while I'm trying to illustrate scenes from the show in my journal. So if you're interested in that or bullet journaling in general, I still think that this would be a fun video for you to watch, even if you don't understand some of the references I'm making to the show. But also, at this point, the show came out over 20 years ago, so I would be surprised if you haven't seen it. I'm just not a huge TV show watcher, so I haven't seen a lot of TV that a lot of people have seen. So today I have on, this is my closest of what I have to the Rory Gilmore sweater. You probably know the one I'm talking about. I'll put a picture of it on the screen. This is my version of it that I've had since I was like 17. I thrifted it at a thrift store. Best, coziest fall sweater that I have. So I'm actually going to show you a screen recording that I did on my computer a couple of hours ago. Before I had even decided that I was going to do this, I was just like, let me just ponder on over to Pinterest, so you can watch that now. This is my little Pinterest board that I made. I haven't actually decided on this yet. I haven't like looked through all of my suggestions on Pinterest yet, but I think I want to do Gilmore Girls theme. And so I just decided to come on Pinterest and like pin a couple of things to see if I have any inspiration. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do because I feel like Gilmore Girls, it doesn't have a lot of very iconic imagery. Like the only thing that I could really think of was the Luke's sign and the intro to the show, which is all about fall foliage. But other than that, and like a coffee cup, I couldn't really think of anything that was very significant and recognizable about the show because I feel like it's mostly about Rory and Lorelai's relationship. So I just decided to come on Pinterest and see what I could find. So yeah, I definitely pinned the opening credits of the show. I love the outside of Luke's Diner, super cute logo that I feel like I could use. I also saw this that somebody drew. Jay Franco, I think, is the artist. This is a super cute little illustration of some of the things from the show, which I feel like could be cute too. It has a lot of those things that I was talking about, like the coffee cups and the burgers and stuff like that. I pinned a lot of cute pictures of Rory and Lorelai. I feel like I would have to draw them. Like, I don't think that I could do this without drawing the characters because they're so iconic and so many of their outfits are so recognizable, like this Rory's little birthday outfit, her Chilton uniform. I loved this moment in the show when they're laying on the ground. I thought this was a really cute idea. I don't think this is from the show. As far as I know, I think that maybe like a fan just made this, but I feel like this could be a cute idea to like pay homage to a lot of the iconic locations from the show. And then I just love these little images of like the square in Stars Hollow with the cute sign and the gazebo. I saw this cute little collage of a bunch of things that are very Gilmore Girls-esque, but they're not like too on the nose, like the little movie tickets, the no cell phone sign, these cute little fairy lights that I feel like they have in their house. There's the library from the show. I also found this picture, which I'm sure this is not real. I think this is photoshopped picture of Taylor Swift crying over this moment of Jess saying I love you to Rory. Truly 100% sure this is not a real photo, but it's so funny to look at. This is my thing about this. I feel like I have a good idea. I could use like this for my little goals page, like have that with like the words, like a couple other signs in here that say goals and habits or something like that. And then like the headers could be really easy because I could just use this font or like the Luke's font for like the calendar and the moments page. But I don't know what I would do for the divider, which is usually the most important page to me because it's very artistic and it's less practical. So I'm gonna have a think and see if I can come up with an idea for the divider page. Okay, wait, now as I was speaking, I just thought of doing like a little, like if this, I'm so small on this right now. If this is the bullet journal page, having like this, a little skyline or like a row of buildings from the show, like their house, Luke's diner, the library, the gazebo, the Kim's house, and then have the text above it, like amidst some trees. Would that be cute? Okay, like let me do a little sketching. I literally was not committed to this idea until just now, so let me think about it and then I'll come back.
Okay, so as I mentioned in that clip, I have a couple of ideas for the divider page, which is usually the page that I like to work on first anyway. So I think I'm going to try and do a little sketching for that and just figure out the layout of the divider page because I feel like, as I mentioned, there's a lot of good little things that I could use for the headers that don't take up as much space on the pages. The one thing that I will mention, let me get my bullet journal to supplement what I'm about to say. If you've seen my bullet journal tour videos from the past couple of years, you'll know that I do like to draw in lots of different styles. Like I will do things that are more sketchy and illustrative, I'll do things that are more graphic, things that are more focused on typography. Like I feel like as an artist over the years, I've definitely like stretched my wings and I feel like I'm able to do a lot of different styles. I will say that like my personal style that I gravitate towards is like this, like super graphic, blocky colors, like not realistic at all. Like it's a very cartoony. And I've definitely been pushing myself this year to do things that are at least a little bit more realistic. Like this is I did last month. And like these characters were supposed to look like the characters that they and like the actors that play them. And the one thing that I have always been very insecure about drawing and not great at drawing is lots of like naturalism. So I'm not great usually at drawing like flowers and plants. Animals are not the best for me. Those are just things that I've never gravitated towards drawing, at least in a realistic way. And I feel like in September this year I really pushed my limits with this one, drawing lots of different types of flowers and vegetables and fruits and stuff like that. Truly, and this is so stupid, the thing that I feel like I'm the worst at drawing is trees and leaves. Like especially, I feel like I've just never grasped on how to draw like a tree from far away without drawing every single leaf that is on the tree. I know I talk a lot about this in videos about like drawing from vague to specific and not worrying about doing every single little detail, but like for some reason I haven't been able to figure out how to do that with drawing trees, which is one of the reasons why I'm like I can't just do that like opening credits scene of the word Gilmore Girls on the background of all those trees because I'm like my brain like does not comprehend how to draw that. So I think I'm gonna try and incorporate the fall foliage in some way without it being that intense and all-encompassing. That's my little tangent about that, but let me go and start sketching a little bit to figure out what I'm gonna do for my little divider page. Hello everyone, it is indubitably the next day. I worked last night. I am wearing the same outfit I was wearing yesterday. I did change before I went to work, so I did not wear this at work yesterday and wear it again today. I didn't do any sketching because as soon as I finished filming yesterday, I had to go to work. So I am gonna start doing my sketching now and then I'll show you. So I've done some sketching and I can't figure out what I want to do. I'm gonna show you as if you can give me any feedback right now while I'm working on this. I just can't decide what I want to do for the divider. Like I know I want to incorporate a lot of the iconic buildings from the show, but like I feel like I can't figure out a good layout for them. And it's not like I've been looking online to see if there's any good screen caps from the show that show a bunch of buildings all at once, and there's not really. Like the sets that they built for the show, they usually just shoot them up close, so it's just like the background of one building at a time. So I don't even really know how a lot of these buildings are laid out. Not that they have to be correct for this drawing, but I'm trying to decide if I should just like draw the gazebo and if that's even recognizable enough, or if I need to incorporate like the Stars Hollow sign and like the Luke's logo and stuff like that. I'll show you what I'm drawing. So these are the little thumbnails that I've done so far. This one, I was thinking about doing like a bunch of buildings across the bottom, but I think that they're going to be too short and they're going to look awkward on the page. Like they're only going to take up like this much space and I don't know how to fill up all of that top space. And then this one I did thinking about actually recreating this image from the show, but I don't love this layout. Like I could do this and then replace the word Stars Hollow with the word November and maybe write like November in Stars Hollow down here or something like that. I think I might try and sketch that on here, and if it looks okay then I'll go with that. I like this one. This is just the gazebo. It would have like some trees up here, just the grass down here, maybe like some pumpkins, and then write the word November up in this like open sky area. I like that, but I don't feel like the gazebo is recognizable enough that it's from the show and like that's what the theme is, which is why I feel like I need to have that blue Stars Hollow sign. Even though I really like the composition of this, I just feel like it's not like on theme enough. And then this one I tried to recreate this image from the show. This is like an overview shot, but I feel like this is not super recognizable either, and I don't want to do something like this detailed. So talking that out helped me a little bit. I think I'm gonna sketch that one that I was talking about. That's the sign in the foreground and then the gazebo in the background. I think I'm just gonna sketch that out on the page and then see. Because I already have a good idea of what I'm gonna do for the other pages, but it's just these ones that I'm like, I don't know. But I'm gonna sketch it out and then I'll come back and show you. I think I'm just gonna go for this. I just finished my little sketch. It's kind of loose, but I like it enough. I feel like it's gonna be interesting to look at. I like it. It's recognizable. I think I'm gonna do it. I'll show you. But before I show you, I do want to talk about this. I know I said this in the intro about trying lots of different styles of like line work and different approaches when it comes to doing color. And I think that for these, I want it to be a little bit more sketchy and almost like it could be like concept art or something for the show. I'm gonna show you, I did last year in my bullet journal a theme that was very loose, not detail oriented. It was just like loose and sketchy, and I loved the way it turned out. This is like really not a style that I usually do, but I loved how it turned out when I did it last year, so I'm going to show you the one that I'm talking about. So this was in July last year. I hope that you can see this, and this is all in frame right now, but this was like a little travel theme that I did where I illustrated a bunch of different pictures from my own travels. And when I did sketches that were pretty loose, and then I just did the color first, and I used markers, but I kind of approached it like I would with paint, where you're just kind of like laying stuff down, being really messy and loose, and then I went over top with a fine liner to do some messy line art, and I wasn't really precise about anything, and I really like the way that it turned out. It's very like, it looks like a travel journal was done on the go kind of thing, and I'm imagining a similar style for this Gilmore Girls theme. I'll show you my sketch, and then I think I'm gonna pick out some colors of markers and then just try and go in with some color, just a little bit of whacking. I've already done this one time this year where I did an entire divider page, finished it completely, and then decided that I hated it and did a new one. So that is always an option for this year as well. If I need to completely change my mind, that's okay, and that's all part of the process. So I think I'm just gonna get my markers and then start. Here's my little sketch. Drew the little town welcome sign, but it's gonna say November up here and then in Stars Hollow on the bottom. And then I drew the gazebo. Picture that I was looking at, it had a bunch of like fall decorations on it. I don't want to draw all of those because it's a lot, but I am going to add like a couple little pumpkins sitting on the steps over here because I think that will add it. And then I am going to include the big tree of some fall foliage. It's behind this sign, and then there's a branch that kind of like comes across the front of it. But yeah, that's my little sketch. I am going to do color now. And while I'm showing you guys what I'm coloring in this video, I thought that it would be fun. I made a little list of things to talk about from the show. So the first topic of discussion that I feel like we have to talk about when it comes to Gilmore Girls is, are you Team Dean or Team Jess? I guess Logan is also included in this, and maybe Tristan, even though they're like kind of irrelevant. I know that the popular opinion is that people hate Dean, and honestly, like, I don't hate him. Like, I'm definitely Team Jess, but I wasn't for a long time. Like, really,
I didn't like Jess until like he was almost out of the picture, and I don't even know what season that was, like at the end of season 4. But seriously, like even now, I'm in the middle of season 6 now. I still don't hate Dean. Like I feel like he's a great person. He doesn't bother me at all. I feel like they had a great relationship. That being said, I am definitely team Jess. He is so charming, like in a way where it feels illegal, like he needs to chill. But I saw this, I can't remember if this was on Instagram or on TikTok or what the other day, but I saw this post that somebody said Chilton Rory was too good for Jess, but Jess is too good for Yale Rory. And I totally agree with that. Like, I don't know what it is, but the past like season and a half, Rory has like really been bothering me. And I don't know what it is about it. She just like has been making a lot of weird decisions. And Jess just came back in the episode that I just watched where he wrote his book. And I'm like, what is up with Rory? Like, he's so good. He's gotten his life together now. He wrote his book. Like, she has just been bothering me recently. And I am definitely a Lorelai girly. Like, I love Lorelai. Um, but yeah, let me know in the comments if you're team Dean or team Jess, or if you like Tristan or Logan for some reason. I don't know why you would. Um, and let me know why, and like what your favorite like little ship moments for either one is from the show. Like what your favorite moments between Rory and Dean or Rory and Jess are.
Okay, I think I finished the color so far for the divider. I am going to take a little break now to eat lunch and to do some work stuff for my other job. And then when I come back, I think I'm going to try and do the line art for the little divider page. I'm probably going to go back in with some more color afterwards, but I feel like I need to have that line art there to kind of like anchor it and then see what I need to add. But I do really like how it's turning out so far. I'll show you. Here we are. I really like the addition of like this tree back here, the bushes, and I really love like these little falling leaves and the ones that are on the ground. I feel like it's really atmospheric. I feel like this whole thing is going to look a lot better when I do the line art because it is all white, and that line art, especially for this lattice pattern, is going to look a lot more realistic, and for like the poles and stuff that hold up the gazebo. But I really like it. I'm also going to do an outline around the whole thing just to anchor it on the page. Like I said, I'm going to go do some work stuff and then I'll be back later. Okay, I finished my work stuff, I guess. You know, work is never done. But I am going to start doing my little line art thing. I'm going to show you a little quick talk through of what I'm doing before I start actually doing it. Or I guess while I start doing it so that you can see what I'm talking about. I say this as if this is like a real technique or anything. It's not. It's just I'm just going to show you what I do. So when I do something like this, I'm going to be using these two pens. This is the Sakura Pigma Micron pens. This is the size .08 tip. And then I also like to use this Stettler Tri Plus Fine Liner. I just like these because they're super small, but they still feel very sturdy. You know, when you use like a really tiny tipped pen and it just like feels like it's going to break under the weight of you touching the page, you know? I like these because they feel sturdy. I'm just gonna like loosely go around shit, you know? When I do this, I try to be quick so that my lines look natural but not like too messy. Like I want them to look organic and kind of like quick, sketchy, like I was just sitting down jotting out an idea. I like doing stuff like this because usually I'm very like color inside of the lines kind of person when it comes to my art. Like I do very graphic lines and the color is very blocky and like stays inside the lines. But this is like, oh my god, you can do whatever you want. Like if it looks messier, that's kind of like better. You see, like I already feel like that looks better. Is it even focused right now? Yeah. Okay. And then so like if I'm going around this, I'm just gonna like loosely, same with this. It's very difficult to draw straight horizontal lines when I can't move the book. That's actually something that I've had to practice since filming my bullet journal processes because I usually am somebody that like turns the page around all the time while I'm working. And even like if you look back at a lot of my videos, I still do that because like physically there are some things that I can't draw without turning the page around. Like I just have to, and especially straight horizontal lines I can't do, but it just doesn't look very good on camera. If you do that all the time, it's just kind of hard to follow. So I've tried to practice not doing that. as much, but sometimes I still have to. I'm gonna go in and do this little lattice thing. I think I'm gonna do that with my smaller pen. And yeah, when I do this, I'm kind of like going back and forth between what pen I'm choosing to use, because I want some things to kind of stand out more if they're like more of a border. Stuff like this is so difficult to draw because it is actually like woven over each other, but like don't feel like you have to actually individually draw the planks like going over top of one another. Like you truly do not have to, especially if you're doing a style like this where it's really sketchy. So I'm gonna shut up now and I will speed through this so you can just watch what I'm doing.
The other thing that I wanted to talk about is that I don't really care about Rory and Dean or Rory and Jess. I am a Lorelai and Luke lover till I die. I literally from the first episode knew that I loved them together, and I can't believe how long it takes for them to like actually get together. But it was truly like the most satisfying plot arc of my entire life, watching the two of them fall in love. And I seriously love them so much. I'm obsessed with Luke. He is the best character in the show. I mean, other than Paris and Michelle, of course, because if you watch the show, you have to love Paris and Michelle. But yeah, I love that I'm like not talking about the art at all in these voiceovers, just because I have like so much stuff to talk about just about the show itself. I also want to know, what's your favorite Lorelai outfit? I know everybody loves that Rory sweater that I talked about earlier, but what's your favorite Lorelai outfit? I love the outfit that she wears at Luke's sister Liz's wedding with the flower crown and the pink dress. It's to die for.
All right, finished my liner for the divider. I like it. It's not my favorite, but I can see this being something that grows on me. So I'm gonna go and start working on some of the other pages, and then I'm going to come back to this later and see if there's anything that I want to add. I can see some gold or silver gel pen in my future for this, just adding some little sparkly accents, like some little stars or something like that, to make it a little bit more my style. But I'm going to go and do my little headers for some of my other pages first. And yeah, so here's my little illustration for my goals header. I ended up adding those, these are the ones that kind of how they look on that picture we looked at on Pinterest, and then I just added these two at the bottom, a little habits arrow that points to my habit tracker grid, and the little goals one that points to the box where I write my goals. So I'm just gonna color them in with some of the colors that I used in the divider page.
Another thing that I wanted to talk about, I see so many people talking about this online all the time, about how Lorelai is like the same person as Taylor Swift. And I had seen that like even before I started watching the show, and I just kind of never paid attention because I'd never seen the show before. But now that I am watching the show, I like don't see that. Like I don't feel like I mean, not that I know Taylor Swift at all, like I don't know her personally or what she's like in her life, but even like from what I can glean about her life from her music, I just like feel like they're not similar at all. And if you are somebody that thinks that, like let me know what similarities you see between them as people, because it's very interesting to me.
Hello everyone, I'm back. It's the next day. I went to a little movie night last night, so I stopped working. I did do my little moments spread off of camera. It was like a really simple thing that I did, so I'll show you when I do my final reveal. But I am just gonna go back in and do my last two pages today. I just have to do my calendar and my little illustration. I kind of already have an idea for the illustration. Since I haven't drawn any people yet, I kind of want to draw Rory and Lorelai. I don't know how I'm going to illustrate yet. I think I'm just going to figure it out as I go, because I haven't decided if I want to actually illustrate a scene from the show or just like draw the two of them together, or like taking a walk through Stars Hollow or something like that, or maybe like sitting at the table at Luke's. But I want to show you my outfit today. I am kind of giving Lane today, not really. This is my sweatshirt. It says support live music on it, which I feel like is very Lane core. So I'm gonna get started. Okay, my camera battery was going to die, so I charged my camera battery while I did my little sketch for my calendar page and my illustration, and I'm gonna show you what it looks like before I start doing color and liner. Okay, so I did this little illustration. This is Rory and Lorelai sitting at a table at Luke's. This is the picture that I was referencing while I drew it. Lorelai looks a little busted, so I think I'm gonna fix her, but I think Rory looks cute. And then I used the font that is the intro titles to the show for these little headers, and I also used it on the moments page over there. I'm going to show you guys a really good website that you can use if you're trying to do something like this too and you need a reference. So this is a website called Action Fonts. I've used this website a lot to find fonts that are from like book covers and TV shows and like recognizable fonts like that. Like I used this website when I did my Barbie theme and the Eras Tour Taylor Swift theme. It helps you identify what fonts are being used in certain titles. So I didn't know what this font was called. This is called OPTI Amadeus Solid. And it gives you some history about the font and the show that it was made famous in using. It will also give you information about what the copyright is on the font, like whether you're allowed to use it for free or commercial use, stuff like that. But my favorite thing about this website, more than other font ID websites, is that they always have this thing at the bottom where you can generate your own text. You can choose like how big you want it and what color, and it will generate your text in that font. So I just use this as a reference. So when I wanted to do this, the only time that you really see the font is in the beginning credits of the show, so not all of the letters are there, so you can't like use them as a great resource. When you generate your own text, then you can see what your text would look like in that font, so you can draw it on your page.
Okay, and the last thing that I wanted to talk about in this video is the idea of like romanticizing small towns. I was telling my boyfriend about this the other day because I am not from a small town. I grew up in a town, but it's not by any means small. Like it's a very large town in the middle of a very metropolitan area. So I have never experienced what it's like to actually live in a small town. And I think because of that, I have always, like since I was a child, truly romanticized the idea of living in a place where you know everyone and you can walk everywhere and there's very strong community and people just like do everything together. And I don't know, and watching this show has really heightened that love to me, even though I have never actually experienced it, and I'm sure that there are also downsides to living in a very small place. But let me know if you're somebody that is from a small town. Like, are depictions of them, such as Gilmore Girls and Stars Hollow, is that like actually what it's like to live in a small town? Because I truly don't think that I ever will live in a small town. Like I'm very much a city girl, being in a populated place kind of girl, but I love and have always just truly loved the idea of it. And this show is just really hitting it home for me.
I finished my journal and I'm going to show you in a couple seconds, but I wanted to show you the view outside of the window that I work in front of every day, because the past few days that I've been waking up, the tree like right in front of the window is so beautiful, bright orange, and it really inspired me to do this Gilmore Girls theme, because every morning when I wake up and it's dark in my room, also I'm a crazy person that sleeps with the blinds and curtains open, because if I sleep in a room that's completely dark, it makes me feel weird, and because I don't know what time it is. Like I wake up and I'm like, is it 3 a.m. or is it like 9:30 a.m.? So yeah, I am one of those crazy people that sleeps with the curtains open. Not when I lived in the city though. I couldn't do that because I lived on the first floor. And then people could just see into my room. I do like to, when I wake up and the room is a little bit dark and I can see outside and the tree is just so beautiful and orange, so I'm going to show you. I hope you enjoyed that. And here is my final Gilmore Girls theme. So here is my divider page. I ended up filling in this outside section with this like dark charcoal gray color because I kind of wanted it to look like it was a photo taken on like a film camera or like a Super 8 video camera, which I also feel like is giving hints to the fact that it's a TV show. So we have the cute little gazebo from Stars Hollow and the little sign that says November. And I actually ended up adding in a bunch of these little star shapes all around, and it's in this reflective silver gel pen. And I added those on some of the other pages too. I think it just adds a little magical touch to it, and obviously it references Stars Hollow. Here is my illustration in my calendar page. I did these ones with the background like the intro title to the show. Here's my little illustration of Rory and Lorelai sitting at Luke's drinking some coffee, and I had to include the quote, "Life's short, talk fast," because it's so iconic from Gilmore Girls. Here is my little habits and goals and my moments page. We have the little locations of the show, the Dragonfly, Luke's, the Kim's Antique Store, and then for the header over here I said moments at Luke's. And that's where we're going to write the best part of every day. And there you go. That was my entire Gilmore Girls themed bullet journal spreads for November 2023. I hope you enjoyed hanging out while we chatted about Gilmore Girls, talked about my art process and drawing and sketching and coloring. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to have these bullet journal spreads in your journal or your digital planner for the month, the printable and digital download versions of these spreads are available in my Etsy shop now, along with my bullet journal themes from November last year and the year before, if you want to have some options to choose from. My Etsy is always linked in the description of all my videos, so you can go check it out there. And definitely follow me over on Instagram and TikTok for some more bullet journaling content, as well as just more stuff from my personal life and all of my other artistic endeavors. Thanks so much for hanging out. Bye, guys.
Let's see where this leads. What should we do tonight? What if this breaks your little heart?